The day's business at the Lagos State House of Assembly kicked off with deliberations on the alarming cases of rape, most especially in Lagos. In the motion moved by Member of the Parliament Mojisola Macaulay Ali with the title "Need to Curb the Incident of Rape, Defilement of Minors and Other Sexual Abuses," the lawmakers want stringent punishment and acceleration of rape cases in the court as ways of tackling the menace in the country.
The obligation of the state to stamp out the menace of rape and domestic violence is an obligation owed erga omnes towards all. The crime of rape and associated offences are considered malum inter, a universal wrong, regardless of the system of laws in effect. Consequently, all necessary steps by government to exterminate this menace will be lawful. Quod est necessarium est licitum. What is necessary is lawful. Mr. Speaker, I wish to say this, that gender-based violence occurs in many homes, families, schools, communities, and other places. I wish to also say this with regrets, that 6 out of every 10 children experience some form of violence. And according to the United Nations Children Education Fund, UNICEF, 1 in every 4 Nigerian girls will experience sexual violence before they turn 18. So sad. Furthermore, according to the United Nations Population Fund, UNFP, despite the progress made by the Nigerian government, approximately 80 million women and girls are still victims of gender-based violence. In a study recently conducted randomly in selected secondary schools around Lagos State, it showed that 28.8% of the 290 respondents had experienced gender-based violence of sexual assault, and none of them, Mr. Speaker, had made a formal report of the incident.
It's part of the ills of our society today, sir. Unfortunately, our country is going through a lot, and in the reports it's been said that no fewer than 32 separate cases of defilement, rape, incest, sodomy has been reported to the Nigerian police in the last 6 months. And this is just the statistics as recorded, official report. We all know that a lot has been happening, and the issue of rape didn't start today. And the reason why it is very prevalent today is because people are becoming aware that this menace is killing people. A lot of clergymen have come out in the faces of social media and the media, basically, to condemn this act. And I'm very glad that the House is taking it very seriously. I want to believe, sir, that the laws we have not really been implemented. And one of the reasons, sir, is because a lot of us have decided, a lot of Nigerians have decided to settle these cases out of court. And that is one of the reasons why we've not seen the import of the penalties on people or on victims. I want to pray that this House will make it a major pointer that every case, every victim of rape and their families should not opt for out-of-court settlement. They should all go to court. We should see them, and the penalties should also be meted on those people who are culprits.
Noting the trauma victims of rape suffer in the hands of the predators, the lawmakers also called on Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to direct the state judiciary to ensure that perpetrators of rape and defilement of minors are quickly prosecuted in line with extant laws of the state.
On the part of the law, we have plethora of laws, but are they effectively implemented? Endless judgment that will take many years. These are the reasons why many of these perpetrators will go scot-free. To the police, are they well trained on how to collect information, on how to collect facts? Some of them even will connive with the perpetrator by collecting bribe. Mr. Speaker, my colleague, I think the mover has talked about what the governor need to do. But to we ladies too, we need to dress very well. We must not be found in compromised areas, dark areas, run away from it. But the most important thing is that let there be a special tribunal that will try rape and domestic violence. Because if you take it to regular court, it takes a while. Let there be a dedicated court, like tribunal, that will try this and will be quick in the dispensation of justice.
Now it's high time for us to look inward critically and see whether the laws that we have, whether they are obsolete, so that we can critically amend such laws to be in tandem with the modern rape cases. Our cases are peculiar, although we can borrow from the Western world. That takes me to some of those laws that we have. Section 260, we only have 10 paragraphs or 10 sections that make up the case of rape.
People don't want to approach the court because of the time that cases spend in court, so they would prefer to hold it. I think the area we should be looking at now, Mr. Speaker, even if you say death penalty, if you say life imprisonment for the perpetrator, the accused person, that judgment is for the state. What is the judgment for the victim of rape? And these days, Administration of Criminal Justice is looking not only not looking at penalty for the state alone, but also for the accused, for the victim of the offense. So I think while we are looking at life imprisonment as penalty for the person, which is to the side of the state, we should also be looking at what is the remedy to the victim of the rape.
Rape is an heinous crime. We can give all the excuse of why you got raped, but at the end of the day, you find out that it is the person that commits the rape that is at fault. If I don't dress well as a woman, a man can rape you. But what do you talk about a child? What kind of clothing do you expect the child to wear? If you say yes, then you change your mind and you say no, and the person still has a way with you, that means you have a relationship. What do you say about somebody that doesn't even know the person at all, and they grab the person and rape the person? So rape is something that must be tackled with all the fiber in our body to resist it.
According to research, over 700 rape cases were recorded in Nigeria between January and May 2020. A very recent one was the case of Vera Uwaila Omazua, a 22-year-old student of the Department of Microbiology at University of Benin, who was raped and murdered by her assailant. Another case involved a 21-year-old girl in Ibadan, who was also raped and killed. The lawmakers are confident that the number of rape cases would reduce if punishment is meted out to perpetrators.
A lot of parents these days, they have abandoned, the upkeep of their children. They have delegated their responsibilities to, family members or to neighbors, in the excuse for, going out to such, to look out for what they want to eat, or that the economy is bad and they have to work and all of that. That is not an excuse. It is not acceptable. Every parent must look out for their child, and we're actually proposing now that any parent that is found wanting in his or her responsibility, in parenting over any child, should also be taken, into account for punishment.
The religious institution should do more. Instead of preaching prosperity alone, we should start moral education in mosques and churches. And we as parents as well, we should do more of morally educating our children at home, telling the male child most especially on how to respect our female children. If we start it at the early age, no man in his right thinking sense will go out for the purpose of defining whether minor or even adult female.